Sugar at 38.7%, up from 42.8%. Mokene 24.1% from 37.4%, as iron sheets dropped to 18.2%, up from 27.3%. Refined oil 2.8%, up from 4.6%.
Also, sugar inflation has slowed down to 38.7% in the year that is ending this month, March 2023, compared to the inflation we registered for sugar on an annual basis of 42.8% for the year that ended in Feb 2023. See the bunches of matoke inflation on an annual basis has slowed down to 47.4% in the year that is ending this month, compared to an inflation we registered for matoke of 61.0% for the year that ended in Feb. Cassava, fresh cassava inflation has also slowed down to 65.8% for the year that is ending this month of March 2023, compared to an inflation we registered for the year that ended in Feb of 82.0%.
The annual headline inflation by income category and geographical area, on the other hand, was as follows. Fort Portal saw more inflation in March 2023 than it did in February 2023 of 11.2%. Arua experienced higher inflation in March 2023 of 13.6% than it did in February 2023 of 13.8%. And Kampala experienced higher income in March 2023 as of 7.2% than it did in February 2023 at 6.83%. Meanwhile, on the other hand, annual inflation as measured by the Residential Property Price Index for the Greater Kampala Metropolitan Area for the quarters to quarter 3 financial year 2022-2023 registered at -3.4% compared to -5.1% registered in the second quarter of financial year 2022-2023.
This is mainly attributed to an increase in the inflation of residential properties in Nakawuki that increased to -3.8% for the year ending quarter 3 financial year 2022-2023 compared to -16.0% registered for the year ended quarter 2 financial year 2022-2023. Residential properties in Kampala and Makindye increased to -11.2% for the year ending quarter 3 financial year 2022-2023 compared to -13.7% registered in quarter 2 financial year 2022-2023. Residential properties in Wakiso increased to 2.2% for quarter 3 financial year 2022-23 compared to 1.9% registered in quarter 2 financial year 2022-2023. However, during the same period, the annual inflation of properties in Kawempe and Rubaga slowed down to 0.5% for the year ending quarter 3 financial year 2022-2023 compared to 4.7% registered for the year ending quarter 2 financial year 2022-2023. This table gives us the price levels and the inflation as mentioned. You can see we have an increase of -3.4% from -5.1% registered in quarter 2 2022-2023. Graph gives us the same picture, the price levels.
Research by Finch Ratings predicts that inflation will continue to be higher than the Bank of Uganda's 5% projection throughout 2023. The Uganda Bureau of Statistics will issue its subsequent report on April 28, 2023. Joram Paul Sonko, Business Today.
Moving moving on with business today, we have breaking news. Now, fire has gutted the Shauriako Gagawala commercial building. The raging fire was reportedly believed to have started after an electric short circuit. However, police fire brigade came in handy and are trying to extinguish the fire. Our reporter Pedson Mumbele is at the scene and he has the details.
Yes, Ronah, Nahabwe, we are standing right here in Kampala City in Shauriako. Fire has just gutted one of the commercial buildings here, and according to the reports, over 100 businesses have been turned into ashes by fire. But according to the sources, they are saying that the source of this fire is not yet revealed, and we are standing over here. People are standing, crowding on this very place, and they seem to be the owners of this very business. If my cameraman can just stretch around, we have fire brigade on ground to make sure that the situation is harmonized. But by press time, we'll find that fire had already harmonized, but still that did not protect some of the products and some of the business products that have turned into ashes right here in Kampala City, Shauriako. If my cameraman can just stretch the other side there, that's the building that has just gutted fire. The building is called Shauriako Gagawala, right here in Chisenyi in Kampala City. Over millions and millions of money have turned into ashes. The source of the fire is not yet clear, but right here there are some officers from different police stations, those around Kampala City and surrounding Kampala City. All of them are over here to assess the situation. We already have ambulances here. We have seen some of the shops that belongs to the Indians, Chinese, all have gutted fire over there, and millions of money, billions of money have turned into ashes. Ronah, Nahabwe. Like if you can see, the cameraman is showing you over there, that's what is happening right here. But now, as my cameraman, you can just follow me up here. We're going to talk to one of the leaders who run this place over here to tell us more information about the source of the fire, much as some of the people are saying, or some of the people are saying that they are not aware of the source of this fire. But of course, we are going to talk to one of the leaders who happens to be around here to see the situation and assess, see what is happening over here. Here is, the cameraman can just come over close here and see what is happening over here.
Answer. Amanya gange bampita Lukwago Sadi nga nze nsinzira mu Kisenyi nga chairman naye njegeno bwegudde ku nnyumba ya mukama wange eyagagawala Shauriako. Amawulire gatutuuseeko mu ssaawa 12 n'eddakiika ezigwamu, era ne tudduka misinde n'okukonekitinga abafaya okubategeeza tewaliwo enjega etuguddeko mu kitundu ku nnyumba ya gagawala Shauriako ku Nabugabo. Omuliro guno mu buli ngeri suspect yago eva ku masannyalaze. Tetunnafuna suspect endala kusinga ku masannyalaze. Kati omuliro kwe guvudde ne gugenda nga gwaka mu ruumu mwe mubaddemu batule, ebintu ebirala ebitundibwa mu mbeera eza hardware, mipiira, biki ebintu ebifaanana bwe bityo, ejja boda, spare wa boda, bye bitundirwa ku nnyumba eno eyagagawala Shauriako. Kati awo enjega y'omuliro weetandikidde.
Baddemu n'amaduuka g'Abachina mbalabye nga bajja wano bonna nga baakunganye wano.
Yes, mangi nnyo amaduuka g'Abachina, amasitoowa n'amaduuka gaabwe.
Biyinza okubalirwa mu ssente mmeka by'olaba ng'ebikuta omuliro mundaba?
Kyagala kulimba ku ssaawa eno ku bintu ki bibalirirwamu ssente mmeka ebifudde. Ebintu bingi nnyo, omuwendo gwa losses ez'ebintu ebifiiriziddwa kijja kumanyibwa luvannyuma ng'enkya ng'obudde bukedde ne tutandika okwetegereza bulungi sikuriini ebintu ebifiiriziddwa bisuubirwa byakubeera bya ssaawa mmeka, bya ssente mmeka. Naye nga mu ssaawa eno enjega ebaddewo bintu bingi bifiiriziddwa, naye nga twebaza ab'ekitongole kya faya okuli ne security ya poliisi ne security ya 7 Hill abayamba mu kibuga Kampala emirimu gye bakoze okulaba nti badduukiridde ne bateekawo security ne military poliisi ne bateekawo security ne balemesa abayaaye okuba nti bayingira okubba ebintu by'abantu. Era ku lwa mukama wange John Bosco Muwonge twebaza abitongole ebyo byonna ebikoze omulimu ogw'okudduukirira ne biraba nti bitaasa ate amaduuka amalala agabadde gatafunye buzibu wabula abamenyi b'amateeka ge babadde balumbye nago bagabbe naye olwasi ekyo liteeteekeddwawo eremeseddwa okubaako ekintu byonna ebibbibwa okuggyako ebyo ebigendedde mu loosozi z'omuliro.
Yes, Ronah, that's the information. Like you've heard, the chairman has said that at the moment they can't estimate how much money has been lost over here. But very many shops, like he has just told you, have diminished, have gutted fire. Most of the shops belongs to the Chinese and some Indians over here. You've seen him, he has applauded the police of Uganda, the fire brigade, for the work done. At least fire has been harmonized at this very moment, like you can see. But more of the reports will be coming up your way, trying to unveil how much money could have been lost here in Chisenyi town. Back to studios, Ronah, Nahabwe.
Thank you so much, Petsi Lumbele, for that report. We do sympathize with the business community in that building, Shauliyako Gagawala building. Of course, we'll be getting more of this report as a developing story, so please stay around and stick around on Smart 24 TV to get to know what is at stake or what has been lost. Now, moving on with business today, Uganda is still one of the Financial Actions Task Force's grey list as the fighting money laundering and terrorism financing are concerned. Financial Intelligence Authority is still faced with issues of compliance of some accountable persons together with lack of awareness. Samla Hanifa has more of this story.
The Financial Intelligence Authority is collaborating with other interested parties, including the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, to address the problem of financial crimes in the nation. To date, roughly 1,180 accountable individuals have been registered. According to Cyrus Parije, some accountable persons are unaware that they must register their enterprises under the Financial Intelligence Authority despite the fact that the law demands it, and therefore there is need to raise awareness throughout the country.
Why we are here is awareness, and as you could see today, it's still early days when we're now rolling out training and public knowledge. The challenge of compliance is based on unknowing. So I would not rush and say accountable persons are not compliant. No, it's for us now to get out there and get them to be knowledgeable and aware about what's happening, and then we can have that discussion of non-compliance.
Uganda is still in the grey area as far as fighting money laundering and other related financial crimes, but Ms. Sharon Lisa Nyambe says there is potential to improve because the government of Uganda is committed to working with the Financial Action Task Force.
Uganda has really given us an impressive outlook in as far as putting in place a regulatory framework, and just having the institution like the Financial Intelligence Authority, which is striving to support the government in countering financial crime, is a very good outlook. And of course, we understand that recently Uganda was placed on the grey list, but Uganda is also making very promising and interactive sessions with colleagues in the Financial Action Task Force and other regulatory bodies to ensure that we remedy some of the areas that have been listed.
Francis says some financial institutions are because they have deliberately refused to register their businesses, creating a bad image for this business.
As where some people are not licensed and they call themselves forex bureaus, and they are not managed by our association. So they are the ones who have pulled us down, especially in terms of complying with the law. They do their transactions illegally, not even being known by the rest of the other institutions. So it becomes a bit difficult.
Responsible individuals include the boards of trust companies, casinos, real estate, precious metal dealers, capital markets and insurance businesses, among others, because they are vulnerable to money laundering and other illicit financial flows. Samlanifa, the business.
Now, away from that, farmers have continued to advocate for employment of more extension employees as the government recognizes a deficit of agriculture extension services throughout the country, of course. They voiced their complaints about it during the first Uganda National Agriculture Extension Weeks, and Pedson Mumbere has more of this story.
There is a shortage in agriculture extension services, number of staff on the ground.
A number of countries took bold steps to modernize agriculture through enhancing agricultural extension, a sector that is key to increasing farmer knowledge, but things appear to be different in Uganda. During the official launch of the first Uganda National Agricultural Extension Week, the government acknowledged a shortage of agricultural extension services and farmers pushed for the recruitment of more extension workers.
So if they can fail to come to my household, my farm, how about the other farmers? So they are really too few to make an impact. And then government goes around and says they are useless, they are not doing anything, they have not helped any farmer. But have they gone down to see the extension farmer ratio? How much is it? It is overstretched. Have they compared, Honorable Minister and your commissioners, I would like you to compare with the other sectors.
According to Stephen Batwali, the Director of Crop Protection at the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, the government operates within the boundaries of the existing budget, but soon it will take into consideration the need for
work according to the available budgets, and now since the budget available has provided for enhanced salary, let us first conclude that, then more recruitments and adding staff will follow.
As we know, many times our budgets are not sufficient as a country, so the smarter we do things and the more partners we attract to also chip in and supplement whatever resources are available for agriculture extension service delivery, the welcome it is.
Farmers in Uganda struggle to get trustworthy current information regarding regenerative and circular agriculture due to the limited extension services available. They are worried that the limited number of extension workers now on hand may cause the parish development model adoption to stumble in its early phases.
Currently, we are even going to meet the Committee of Agriculture, that is at Parliament, to discuss the budget that has been submitted because the extension grant has now been scraped off. And this is an extension grant that has been supporting the extension officers, especially the public extension officers, to do their day-to-day work. So if this is scraped off, then what are they going to use? What is going to facilitate their movement? Because this has been scraped off.
According to Farm Radio International, FRI, in Uganda, 80% of the households in the country are involved in agriculture, with rural communities having even bigger numbers. However, only a fifth of these receive extension services. Pedson Mumbere, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
That report will now usher us into a commercial break where we will return with more. Please don't go away.
Smart 24, driving business.
Don't miss on Smart 24 TV.
Family spaces. You've got family businesses that go on for 50 years, others go on for hundreds of years. What about your family space? Do you have that plan?
So I see family business as, we have to remember also to be rational and bring your rational self, not our emotional self.
Join us this Saturday, Doreen Kemcha, Women in Business on Smart 24 TV, as we talk to Ms. Olga Nichols Walusimbi. She'll give us insight on how to manage and run a great family business as a legacy.
Sulabira wa gano kima kagakatemba
because some of the Canada is very far. It's just you. Yeah, you step it on it, kilometers to your legs, and you get your sugar. We buy meat from Umaru, and Umaru refuse to give you enough meat. Show him that they don't joke with you.
Okukakaluka n'okulungi kwetaagako omuntu akuyambako n'olwekyo tujja kukuteerawo embeera esaanidde osobole okukola ekisinga awamu teri kitulema.
Kirako enyange tayisa bubi faburiki kyonna kyekiri kigwalwa Bulu Magic is my choice. Ono Bulu Magic ye wange Ande Bulu Magic is my choice. Ono Bulu Magic ye wange Atukuza.
Smart 24, driving business.
You're still watching Business Today, and thank you for keeping it Smart 24 TV up until this time. Now, tourism stakeholders in Kigezi sub-region have expressed concern over the region's lack of dependable electricity supply. They claim that the power interruptions have been rampant for the majority of the year, having significant negative impact on the businesses. The stakeholders have urged government to give the tourism sector priority by facilitating alternative power sources.
Speaking during the Uganda Tourism Board engagement workshop with different stakeholders in Kabale district, the managing director of Arcadia Lodges, Biegona Nicholas, says that power outages are a daily occurrence and this has gravely affected their business operations. He revealed that due to unstable power supply, he is forced to use other alternative measures like using a generator, which is very costly to operate on a daily basis, noting that he spends over 25 million monthly on fuel costs, which is very costly to sustain the business. Biegona further implores government to prioritize the tourism industry by facilitating alternative power supply means that would include providing standby generators to keep the business moving.
As it is at night, they switch off all we have the outage and then we have to run the generators. So we have found that within 1 month, for example, I'm paying over 20 million running generators in the hotels. And then Umeme comes up also because they also charge us standard. They also want about 5 million. You have about 25 million you pay in the whole month. So they eat into all your profit, and it's too much. That's why I was suggesting that why don't we have, why can't the government now think about this Kigezi sub-region to give them some standby generators like they have in other industrial parks, and they run until we get the high voltage transmission of 132 kVA from Kajitumba to Kabale, which is going to Rwanda for iron.
The proprietor for Hawker's Eye in Bunyonyi, Parit Twinomjuni, says that their businesses are not profiteering because all funds are spent on operational costs, especially fueling generators, leaving them with no room for reaping any dividends. Twinomjuni adds that frequent power outages have compelled tourists to seek other alternative tourism sites which are more convenient with reliable power supply, like in Rwanda, a trend that has affected tourism growth in the area.
Certainly, it does not only affect tourism in Kabale, it affects industry, it affects growth of other businesses. And I want to believe this is one thing that we should have priority for as a country. I want to believe the country should have priority for improving electricity. At least we have good supply of water, but it's also independent. It's also dependent on how reliable electricity is. And it's a key thing. It will take us backwards because the industry will not develop if electricity is low. Tourism will not develop if we don't have sufficient electricity. We will not attract investors, whether foreign or regional. We will not attract them when we don't have reliable electricity in our area.
The chairperson of Kigezi tourism sector, Engineer Mbabazi Ivan Batuma, lamented that Kigezi has received lip service over the challenge of power outages, and yet the region contributes 65% of the national tourism. Mbabazi also noted that this deficient power supply is greatly affecting the industry because such operational costs are not sustainable, and yet electricity is very vital for tourism to thrive. He appealed to government to prioritize Kigezi sub-region as a special tourism area and consider providing stable power supply.
We are requesting, if the way they are talking about giving special power to industrial parks, they should give Kigezi region or this some deliberate stable power and affordable power, so that we contribute over 65% of the revenue for tourism from this region, Kigezi sub-region, because we host the mountain gorillas, which are found here only in the world. 50% of the population of the mountain gorillas are in one ecosystem of wind and Mugahinga.
The Uganda Tourism Board chairperson Daudi Mijeriko pledged to ensure that government expedites the necessary measures to solve the challenges of power outages so as to promote tourism in the area.
The most critical issues that we've been dealing with are issues of encouraging people to be part of the tourism industry. And fortunately here, many people have taken up tourism and are very active and are expanding, which we thought was encouraging. Most of the hotels you see here are owned by the local people here, and they are well looked after, very well designed, and they have created jobs here. But still, we thought there were issues which our management team could handle with them, to do with safety, to do with health, to do with the standards generally.
In spite of the power outage challenge, other tourism concerns in the area include the poor state of the roads and the bad attitude of the natives towards visiting tourists in the area. The Kigezi Tourism Cluster Platform encompasses the various stakeholders from the districts of Kabale, Kanungu, Kisoro, Ruchiga, Rubanda and Rukungiri. A story was compiled by Ndamhachi Nobat for Smart 24 TV Business Today.
Thank you, Nobat Ndamhachi, for that report. Now, the transformation of Uganda's economy depends on the involvement of women in fields based on science. According to the recent statistics, women's participation in science-based businesses and areas can have a substantial positive impact on Uganda's economy. However, only 4% of the registered engineers registration board are women. ERA's Women in Energy project seeks to empower women in the energy industry by giving them the essential opportunities, skills, and information. According to a report by the United Nations, women's participation in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, that is STEM, fields, can contribute to reducing gender gap in employment opportunities and income levels. In Uganda, women account for only 30% of STEM graduates, and this gender gap is reflected in the low number of women in science-based industries. Recent attempts to equip women with science skills, on the other hand, are beginning to bear results. Almost 600 young women were taught digital skills as part of the African Development Bank's Coding for Employment program, which has increased the proportion of women working in science-related fields. The Women in Energy program aims at removing these obstacles and establish a supportive climate that promotes women's involvement in the sector.
Schools, girls' schools, to share with them our stories of how we made it to the positions in which we are serving. So this program brings us together as women who serve in the electricity supply industry and also in the wider energy sector, including the oil and gas, to mentor, to build careers, to have career talks, to build professionals of young girls in secondary schools, but also beyond the secondary schools, of course with an emphasis to impart interest, to motivate them to be interested in taking science, technology, engineering and mathematics careers.
World Bank's analysis claims that gender-diverse teams in the industrial sectors can boost productivity and creativity, which will also boost their competitiveness and spur economic growth. Gender equality is not simply the moral thing to do. It also sounds economics, and it is critical to eradicating poverty and increasing shared wealth across the country.
To ensure that we take power to the entire country, to ensure that we fuel the industrialization and create jobs, and we contribute to the economic development, improve the welfare of society and socio-economic transformation of society.
Downstream, we have transportation and distribution of the oil and gas. Yes, so UNOC is very committed to this cause about aspiring the ladies and the women in the country. In fact, we have a committee for diversity, equity and inclusion, and that really specifically one of our key objectives in that committee of DEI is to ensure that all the ladies are uplifted. So just like what we are doing here, we really support the cause of ERA because we also want to uplift the ladies in the community and also encourage mentor career guidance, just like we're doing here. Yes.
The lectures were very innovative, and this could be seen from the students who attended.
The petroleum engineering and everything, and it talked about chemistry and math being also essentials for that course exactly. So we picked out a lot, especially from the first speaker. She said something like, you can have it all. And after her saying that you can have it all, I felt like I've actually been limiting myself to too much of, yeah, I do BCM, I should do medicine, but now I feel like I can also go out, can do engineering, I can do medicine, I can be a good wife, I can be a good mother, I can do everything.
This initiative is also very critical in fostering women's participation and advancement in the energy sector. It will also ensure a more diverse, innovative and sustainable energy industry in Uganda by offering training, mentorship and networking opportunities, as well as advocating for gender equality and inclusion. Therefore, increasing women's participation in science-based industries should be prioritized to realize the full potential of Uganda's economy. Ronah, Nahabwe, Smart 24 TV, Business Today. Uganda Society of Professional Chemists, together with other professionals, have emphasized the implication of value addition and applied science in driving transformed and strategic economic growth. Uganda is among the countries that are blessed with all the necessary resources to be a wealthy nation. Martha Nimsima with a report.
Uganda's manufacturing industry can manufacture high-quality goods that satisfy international standards and be competitive on the global market by utilizing science-based solutions and cutting-edge technologies. The use of science and technology in the manufacturing industry can promote the industry's growth and competitiveness by improving productivity, efficiency, and cost-effectiveness.
So we are saving Ugandans now worth billions of shillings that would have spent to import medicines into Uganda. That means we are building our own economy by reducing imports. Secondly, I've created job lines. The farmers who give us these raw materials are working, they're earning money. The people who in the lab who do the extraction, the chemists, the pharmacists are also working and they're earning money. The team that goes to sell these products to pharmacies and other channels are earning money. We're also exporting to other nations now. All that is contributing to our economy through application of science.
Science-based approaches to agriculture, like precision-based farming, have the potential to boost the productivity and competitiveness by improving quality, yields, and costs. Similarly, science-based healthcare solutions like telemedicine can improve access to healthcare services, especially in rural areas.
Of measuring, analyzing, improving, and controlling what we have achieved. Can we control the methods that we have improved? Can we sustain them? Can we control the outside effects, for example, of a product? If it has to be sustained, if it has been packaged, what kind of quality package can be given? This not only adds value, but is also going to make it more acceptable from the outside environment, not only locally, but also from the international community. So that is one of the challenges. We are faced with the challenges of risk mitigation. Do the chemists have the knowledge? Yes, they do. We have advanced. We have improved our knowledge. We have done business courses at master's level.
Science and technology-based solutions have the potential to address critical challenges faced by Uganda, including poverty, malnutrition, and limited access to clean water and energy.
As a chemist, I look forward to improving the standards of the country in terms of products, and that is my main role. I look forward to make sure that Ugandan products compete favorably on the international market. Quality is not tested, quality is manufactured. So my main focus as a chemist and my main role in the Uganda Society of Professional Chemists is to make sure that we have competent people, competent chemists who are doing the manufacturing of the different products, doing value on our products so that they produce quality products. Even if we test them 1,000 times, when they've been produced poorly, we are going nowhere. So the best way is to have better chemists.
Uganda's scientific industry is helping to generate innovative products and services that are adapted to the needs of the local market. This has the ability to provide company prospects, job opportunities, and contribute to the country's economic growth. Uganda can advance science and technology to support economic growth, generate jobs, and enhance the standards of living for inhabitants through ongoing investments and technological innovations. Mathani Msima, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
Thank you, Mathani Msima, for that story. Now, Rukunjiri District Fisheries Department have castigated Congolese fishermen on Lake Edward for trespass and use of illegal fishing methods. They have also advised them to consider adopting the use of global positioning system to avoid criminal trespass.
Lake Edward is shared by both Uganda and Congo, with each party supposed to operate within their fishing jurisdiction, but the Congolese fishermen overlap their Kazinga landing site and trespass into Uganda's Renshana landing site, where they use illegal fishing methods and harvest premature fish. It is for this reason that Rukunjiri fisheries officials require the Congolese fishermen to adopt the global positioning method that can enable them work within their jurisdiction. These concerns were raised during a conventional dialogue between the Ugandan and Congolese fishermen at Renshana landing site in Rukunjiri district, where the landing site's coordinator, Stephen Katesigwa, tasked the Congolese fishermen to adopt the use of global positioning system so that they can operate from their gazetted area.
Suggested to them that the only possible solution which can get out this problem completely is to adopt the new technology of GPS, so that those Congolese who travel to come and fish in distant waters can read the boundary. And unless that one is used, the problem cannot be solved. So we want both sides, Ugandan fishermen and Congolese fishermen, to adopt the knowledge, the technology of using this system of GPS.
According to the fisheries head of operations on Lake Edward, Captain Julius Ankunda, the Congolese government has failed to regulate and monitor the fishing practices on their side of the lake.
The problem is still persisting because, honestly, Uganda will still have fish. And these fishermen, they move following where fish is found. For example, this month only we have arrested 65 boats for only this month. And I think they would have reduced. So for this matter, they are still coming to our waters, which we don't really want.
Congo's North Kivu Member of Parliament, Stephen Ndambire, said that Congo's security agencies have always been overpowered by the unruly fishermen who have failed to adhere to the rules. Mr. Ndambire admitted that the use of global positioning system would enable the Congolese to operate within their fishing radius.
Tutapiganisha sisi kama bunge kuweza kuikalisha wavuvi ya Kongo kuona namna gani.
Congolese government has their bodies meant to regulate fishing, but they have been overpowered by the unruly fishermen, which is causing a lot of problems.
The chairperson Renshama landing site, Annette Chomuhendo, called upon Ugandan government to act fast and restrain the Congolese from their bad fishing habits. If these Congolese keep dirtening the lake, then they will clean it, because we have started getting some fish, but these Congolese came around and the fish reduced in number. Therefore, we request government to separate our lands or put barriers, because we are really troubled. Uganda's marine security handed over 45 engine boats that had been impounded for illegal fishing over the previous month. Samuel Chirimunda, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
That will lead us to the end of Business Today, but before we conclude, I would like us to look at our top stories.
In Business Today, Uganda's annual inflation drops from 9.2% in February down to 9.0% in March. Uganda is still on Financial Action Task Force's grey list as far as fighting financial crimes is concerned. More from Business Today, government acknowledges the shortage of agricultural extension services when it comes to farming.
Among today's top stories included the fire that gutted the Shauliyako and Gagawala building. Of course, like I mentioned, you should be up to here on Smart 24 TV to get to know the latest development regards to that story. We'll bring you that and more in Business Today as you follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and if you missed any of these stories, you could watch us on YouTube at Smart 24 TV Live. My name is Ronah. Nahabwe with Winnie Nakawuki on the sign language. Have a lovely weekend.
Smart 24, driving business.
Don't miss on Smart 24 TV.
Family spaces. You've got family businesses that go on for 50 years, others go on for hundreds of years. What about your family space? Do you have that plan?
So I see family business as, we have to remember also to be rational and bring your rational self, not our emotional self.
Join us this Saturday, Doreen Kemcha, Women in Business on Smart 24 TV, as we talk to Miss Olga Nichols Walusimbi. She'll give us insight on how to manage and run a great family business as a legacy.
Saving or securing for the future does not only mean investing in stocks, real estates, or companies, but there are so many chances of becoming a billionaire through practicing agriculture. You don't need a very big plot of land or large capital to start, but slowly by slowly you can build an empire. Uganda's economy is made up of agriculture, services, and industry sectors. But agriculture comes out as the backbone of Uganda, employing 70% of the population and contributing half of the country's exports and earnings. Agriculture being the main supplier of raw materials for several companies, and it's readily marketed both in urban and rural areas. There are so many chances of the next billionaires coming from agriculture. From the farmers to the processors, from the processors to the traders, and from the traders to the final consumers. We shall be taking you through the whole agriculture chain. My name is Chris Chitaka Haman, and this is Farm Smart, showing every Friday 7 to 8 p.m. only on Smart 24.